Well, it's an incredibly exciting time. Not only is today the first time I've gelled my hair in 2.5 months, but also finally about to go out on a little adventure. Cue the intro. So you're probably eager to know where I'm heading to with all the restrictions that are in place at the moment. Well, I'm heading to my local cemetery. Don't turn off, don't turn off. It'll be good, trust me. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's actually a really nice cemetery, and you know, it's gonna be some time before we can all travel again with the same freedom that we could just a few months ago. So now, I always say on this channel that there's always an adventure to be had. I often say that we should appreciate and take the most of the places that we have on our own doorstep, the places we often take for granted. And now more than ever, that is true. So I thought, I've basically been stuck in my flat for a good few weeks. So what better time to take a walk around the gardens, essentially. Really nice gardens around this cemetery. In fact, this cemetery has won a lot of awards actually, because it is so nice, so well kept. And there's actually, believe it or not, there's so much to see here. There's people. When my parents divorced when I was a kid, when they split up, for a while I lived with my mum as well. My mum left my dad and took me and my sister, and for a while we lived with a woman who, she wasn't actually my grandma by blood or by law or anything, but she was basically she was the closest thing I've had to a grandma. So we lived with her for a while my mum got herself, you know, she just left my dad, so until she got herself on her feet and could find a place for us of our own. But anyway, this woman had a dog, so when me and my sister were kids, we'd often take this woman's dog for a walk around this cemetery because we lived nearby. It was actually a lot of fun as a kid because there's so much around here to explore, just aside from the gardens, the trees, the bushes, all the different flowers, none of which I know the name of. There's a beck which I'm about to walk over now. There's deer actually. I've seen deer in this cemetery before. I've seen red squirrels here before. I'm not sure if there's still red squirrels now, but there certainly used to be red squirrels. There's herons that nest in some of the trees. I actually can't remember all the different things that are here. You've just seen a couple of wood carvings, wood sculptures. There's lots of different sculptures carved out of wood here. I remember there's a bush that's carved in the shape of a house with windows and everything. I know that was a highlight for me and my sister when we were kids. A couple of chapels. I can't remember all the different things that are here, but when me and my sister were kids, it was really exciting actually coming here and seeing what we could find, seeing if we could find the herons in the tree, seeing if we could find the house that was made from a bush. So I thought I'd come here now today and explore and see what I can find. So it is a cemetery, so obviously I want to be as respectful as I can as well. I want to show you like as much as I can and give you a sense of the place, but I'm not interested in photographing gravestones and things like that, so I'm going to film what I can but be as respectful as I can as well, and just focus on, I mean, what I want to show you is the natural beauty that's here anyway, so I'm going to try and focus on and show you as much of that as I can. Like all these wonderful trees. So I've noticed these bees collecting pollen around these really nice flowers. I just noticed the flowers to begin with, wanting to photograph the flowers, and I noticed all these bees collecting the pollen. So I'm trying to photograph them. They are really difficult to photograph. Obviously they won't keep still, they're flying around constantly. I imagine they'd kind of go to a flower and spend a bit of time at the flower collecting the pollen and then fly off. Turns out they're constantly flying around. So trying to focus in on them as they're flying around frantically, using a very narrow depth of field as well. Very difficult to photograph. That would be a good one. But a lot of fun. Especially when I've not been allowed out my flat to do any real photography in a good while. So I told you it would be good. incredibly challenging. You're working with such small and narrow margins. I mean, you want to get close to get a nice close-up shot, but if you get too close, of course the camera can't focus. They're so small anyway, so the focus area is so small, moving around constantly. You've got the petals, the leaves and everything else to contend with, so trying to get that focus point just right with such a narrow depth of field, very difficult. I'd love to get one as it's flying away from the flower, but I mean, you can focus on it when it's on the flower, or you can try to, but then even if you get it in focus on the flower, as soon as it moves, as soon as it flies away, obviously it's not in focus anymore. And to try and get one as it's flying, you know, moving the camera around like that, it's just so difficult, so difficult. I feel like I could spend an entire day here just photographing these bees. I can't tell you how long I did end up spending trying to photograph these bees, but what I can tell you is it was long enough to take 730 photographs. Was it worth it? Well, you be the judge. Well, I'm gonna head back home and end the video here, but I've actually had so much fun here today, more fun than I thought I would even. And I know I haven't found half the things that I know are here, so I actually feel like I want to come back here, and I'm determined to get an award-winning photo of a bee collecting pollen. So I feel like I kind of want to come back every day until I get that award-winning photo. But I hope that's encouraged you to explore what's on your own doorstep. Now, I don't know where you live, I don't know what you have in your own area. You might not have award-winning cemeteries or whatever. I don't know what you have in your area, but until all this coronavirus, being on lockdown, until all of this, the only time I ever came here was to lay down flowers for my dad. I never actually took the time to explore it in the same way that I did when I was a kid. And I think that's an important point, actually. Maybe we should all revert back to being children again, because children have no problem finding adventure in their own back garden. So I think we all need to do that again. And yeah, this is an amazing cemetery with a lot of beauty, and I haven't found half the stuff here today. I haven't found the deer that I know are here. I haven't found so many things, but actually taking the time to actually come here and explore and just do nothing more than to just walk around and enjoy it. It's been so much fun. And like I say, I now want to come back here again and again, see what else I can find, see if I can get that award-winning photo. So I hope it inspired you, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. But in any event, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.
I'm a fraud, 'cause I'm a true psychopath. When you're lost, take your trust. That's me. That's so sick. I'm a